I have never witnessed such a sorrowful day. The hospital room, usually filled with the subtle hum of medical machines and quiet footsteps of nurses, was engulfed in a profound silence. It was a day when hearts, restrained by years of composure, finally surrendered to emotion. Shin Aoyama, a name synonymous with gentle melodies and powerful performances, sat in his hospital bed, tears streaming down his face. The reason for this unprecedented display of vulnerability was none other than his long-awaited reunion with the legendary Hiroshi Itsuki. The atmosphere in the room was heavy, almost tangible. Doctors and nurses, who had seen countless patients pass through these halls, found themselves unable to speak, their eyes misting over. Shin Aoyama, whose public appearances are often filled with radiant smiles and unyielding energy, had never before shown such raw, unfiltered emotion. Hiroshi Itsuki, the iconic Inca singer whose voice has comforted generations, entered quietly, yet the moment he approached, it felt as though time itself had paused. Their eyes met, and in that instant, a flood of memories, struggles, and shared dreams passed silently between them. The reunion was not just between two artists. It was a poignant meeting of souls who understood the trials of life, the fragility of health, and the irreplaceable value of human connection. As Itsuki extended his hand, Shin Aoyama grasped it with a trembling strength, unable to contain the torrent of emotions. The hospital room, though small and sterile, became a stage of the deepest human drama. Every tear, every whispered word, resonated beyond the walls, reaching the hearts of all who witnessed this extraordinary encounter. Nurses, who had tried to maintain composure, found themselves quietly sobbing behind curtained corners. The moment was a reminder that even in a world dominated by fame, applause, and performance, the most powerful experiences are often the quiet, intimate ones that reveal the vulnerability of the human heart. The reunion was followed by a long, wordless embrace, a testament to the depth of their bond. Memories of concerts, late-night rehearsals, shared laughter, and mutual respect flowed silently, painting the room with invisible colors of nostalgia and emotion. Shin Aoyama's tears, no longer restrained, reflected not only personal struggles but also a profound gratitude for the presence of a mentor and friend who had shaped his life and career. As the sun slowly set outside the hospital windows, its gentle light falling across the room, there was a sense of healing, a quiet, intangible restoration of spirit. Though words were few, the emotional resonance of the day lingered long after. Everyone present felt the weight of history, artistry, and human connection in its purest, most beautiful form. As the initial wave of tears subsided, a quieter, deeper emotion took its place. Shin Aoyama, still seated in his hospital bed, looked at Hiroshi Itsuki with a mixture of awe and reverence. It was not merely a meeting between two artists. It was a silent acknowledgement of decades spent in pursuit of musical perfection, sacrifices made for the love of art, and the fragile passage of time that neither fame nor talent could halt. Hiroshi Itsuki, with his calm, deliberate gestures, began to recount moments that only a mentor and a pupil could truly understand. Every phrase was weighted with experience. The early days of relentless practice, the loneliness of life on tour, the exhilaration of standing before thousands of fans, and the inevitable disappointments that accompanied a life in the spotlight. Shin listened intently, absorbing every word as though they were lifelines, connecting his present struggles with the wisdom of the past. The room seemed to shrink in significance. Outside, the usual bustle of the hospital continued, but inside, the air was dense with unspoken understanding. Nurses moved softly, careful not to disturb the sacred exchange, while the faint beep of machines provided a rhythmic accompaniment to a conversation that transcended ordinary dialogue. Every nod, every glance, every tear shared between them carried a weight far beyond the moment. For Shin, the encounter stirred memories he had long buried. The excitement of his first stage performance, the nervous trembling before crowds, the fleeting triumphs of early recognition, and the relentless self-doubt that haunted even the most celebrated artists. Hiroshi Itsuki did not speak merely to advise. He spoke to remind, to validate, and to gently guide. It was a master class in resilience, delivered not through formal instruction, but through the profound honesty of lived experience. Time passed unnoticed. The hospital room, often considered a place of sterility and clinical routine, transformed into a sanctuary of emotional truth. Shin's tears returned, not out of sadness alone, but as a cathartic release of years of pressure, anxiety, and unspoken longing for connection. Hiroshi, ever the composed mentor, offered quiet smiles, occasional words of comfort, and the steady presence that only a lifetime of understanding could provide. This reunion, though brief in hours, etched itself into the hearts of those present. It reminded everyone that human relationships, especially those forged through shared passion and mutual respect, have the power to heal, inspire, and restore. Even amidst illness and the constraints of a hospital bed, the essence of life, its beauty, its pain, its fleeting joys, was palpable. As the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the room, the two singers shared memories of concerts past. Shin spoke of fan letters that had brought him unexpected hope, while Hiroshi recalled backstage moments that revealed the humanity behind the performer's mask. Every story, anecdote, and laugh wove a tapestry of connection that could not be quantified by time or circumstance. By the end of this second part of their encounter, a transformation had occurred. Shin Aoyama, once burdened by the weight of his current struggles, felt a renewed sense of purpose. The presence of a mentor who had endured similar challenges, yet remained a figure of dignity and inspiration, rekindled a flame of motivation and hope. Hiroshi Itsuki, in turn, witnessed the strength of the new generation, the spark of talent nurtured through dedication, and the emotional depth that comes from genuine artistic pursuit. It was a reunion that transcended ordinary expectations, a meeting of past and present, of mentor and student, of heart and soul. And though the hospital room would soon return to its quiet routine, the emotional resonance of this day would linger far longer, quietly shaping the journey of a young artist who had once believed he stood alone. As evening approached, a soft golden light filtered through the hospital blinds, bathing the room in a gentle glow. Shin Aoyama, once consumed by worry and sorrow, now seemed to breathe a little easier. The reunion with Hiroshi Itsuki had not only unlocked years of pent-up emotion but had also ignited a spark of hope that Shin thought he had lost. There was something profound about seeing a mentor who had weathered decades of challenges, who had faced health struggles, career ups and downs, yet remained a symbol of unwavering dedication and grace. The conversation shifted naturally from the past to the present, and then gradually to the future. Hiroshi spoke of the importance of embracing every moment, of cherishing connections, and of finding beauty even in the most difficult circumstances. His words, measured and sincere, resonated deeply with Shin, reminding him that art is not just about performance or applause, it is about capturing and sharing the essence of human experience. Shin, reflecting on his own journey, realized that the hardships he had endured, health concerns, the pressure of public expectation, and personal sacrifices, were all part of a larger narrative that gave his music meaning. He felt a renewed sense of purpose. To continue creating songs that could touch hearts, to convey emotions that words alone could never fully express, and to honor the legacy of those who had guided him along the way. The room was silent at times, not from awkwardness, but from profound reflection. Each glance exchanged between the two singers carried years of understanding, empathy, and mutual respect. Every small gesture, a reassuring hand on the shoulder, a nod, a quiet smile, communicated more than words ever could. It was a reminder that human connection, when forged through shared passion and understanding, can transcend even the most daunting obstacles. As night fell, the hospital staff quietly prepared to leave for their shifts, but they lingered a moment longer, captivated by the scene unfolding before them. Shin and Hiroshi shared stories of fan interactions, of concerts where emotions had spilled over into unforgettable performances, and of the quiet moments backstage that revealed the human side of fame. The hospital room, for a brief time, became a sanctuary, a place where the past, present, and future converged in the shared love of music and life. Before parting, Hiroshi Itsuki offered a final piece of advice: to embrace vulnerability as strength, to allow emotion to flow freely, and to never forget the people who had shaped one's journey. Shin nodded, tears glistening in his eyes, but this time they were tears of gratitude, understanding, and determination. He understood now that his struggles were not burdens to bear alone, but bridges to connect with others, to inspire, and to create something truly meaningful. As Hiroshi quietly left the room, Shin sat for a moment, absorbing the weight of the day. The hospital, often associated with illness and confinement, had transformed into a place of profound insight, reflection, and emotional healing. In the quiet that followed, Shin felt a sense of clarity he hadn't known in years, a clarity that promised resilience, creativity, and a renewed journey ahead. The day would be remembered not just as a reunion of two artists, but as a testament to the enduring power of mentorship, the emotional depth of human connection, and the ability of music to heal, inspire, and transcend the ordinary. Shin Aoyama, though still facing challenges, now carried with him the strength, wisdom, and hope that only such a profound encounter could provide. And as the city lights flickered outside the hospital windows, a quiet determination settled within him. The path ahead would be filled with trials, yet also with opportunities to touch lives, convey emotion, and continue the legacy of artistry that had connected him to Hiroshi Itsuki and to countless others who believed in the power of song.